Anytime?
Anytime.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Father James. I am enjoying my coffee this afternoon from my Scottish mug, my rampant lion Scottish mug, one of the ancient symbols of Scotland. Now, why am I doing a rampant lion Scottish mug? Well, first of all, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas. We celebrate Christmas for 8 days, so I hope you're still partying. And then we have the 12 days of Christmas. We like to enjoy Christmas. And there's also this other holiday coming up, January 1st, which is the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God. A great way to bring in the new year, but from a secular perspective, it's also New Year's Day. And for Scottish people, and just to remind you, in case, for the sake of even one, I was born and grew up in Scotland, and my mum and dad from Scotland, my grandparents were from Scotland. After that, I get a wee bit Irish, but I want to get back to Scotland. In Scotland, New Year's Day is a big deal. We call it Hogmanay. That's New Year's Eve, and there's a great deal of celebration. And we have that in our culture over in Canada as well, but in Scotland, it's a wee bit more intense, shall we say. So that's why I've got my Scottish mug, because I want to invite you to our second Our Lady of Guadalupe New Year's, Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish New Year's levee. Now, what is a levee? We're not talking about the levees you get down in the southern United States to hold back the water. This is a different kind of levee. It's basically like a reception, a gathering where we extend hospitality and welcome everyone. And what we want to do is invite the parish to come together for a drop-in on New Year's Day, just to celebrate the new year, connect with one another, have a few laughs, and celebrate our parish. So what's going to happen is after the 10 o'clock Mass, which is the only Mass we have on New Year's morning, the levee will begin, and it will go basically from 11 o'clock till after the Mass until 1 p.m. It's a drop-in. We're going to have, here's the drum roll, once again, we are going to have haggis in neeps and tatties. Now, neeps and tatties is a Scots word for turnips and potatoes. They're mashed. They go very well with haggis. Now, I know already at the mention of haggis, some of you are turning up your noses. Yeah. But you have to try it. I'll tell you, last year the most common thing I heard, the same as all the other years I've been doing this, you hear the same thing. This is actually quite good. Oh, Father James, this is actually really tasty. That's right. Haggis is tasty. It's just not very good for you. I mean, that's why we'll eat it once a year. But it's still tasty, though. Now, last year, I'm coming to you slightly penitent from last year, because last year I was a bit mischievous, and I said that a haggis was a small wild animal that lives in the Highland of Scotland and seasonally comes out of the ground. And I showed you a photograph of a small hairy creature, and well, I just thought it was a funny joke. But it turns out that some of our parishioners were not as steeped in Scottish lore and history and culture as I perhaps had presumed, and so they took that joke a little literally. So, full disclosure, a haggis is not an animal. Haggis is parts of an animal or animals mixed with oatmeal and onions and spices, traditionally cooked in a sheep's stomach, but you don't get too many of those around here. So it's usually cooked in a plastic bag. It's boiled. I know, not as romantic sounding, but it smells delicious and it tastes delicious. So for all of those whose leg I pulled, I'm not sure how the plural of that works. I really am sorry for that. Well, not really. So it was fun. But a haggis is not an animal, but it's still really good. So I'd love for you to come experience some neeps and tatties. Here's the other thing though. We are inviting, a couple of years ago, I've been doing this for oh my goodness, I've been doing this for 18 years in various parishes. And over the years, I realized it was kind of selfish for me to make this predominantly about Scottish culture, especially since our parishes are so rich with so many different ethnicities and cultures. And so here's the point. Okay, I'm bringing the haggis, but we have so many wonderful cultures in our parish. And one of the reasons for our levee is to celebrate who we are as a parish. And I'm going to challenge all of you. I'm going to be wearing my kilt. Hopefully I can still fit into it, but I'm going to wear my kilt, Scotland, and I'm going to invite all of you from a particular culture or country. Wear your cultural garments. Come and let's celebrate together. So I challenge all of you, all of our African parishioners, come out with your colorful dress, and you Acadians, get the Acadian stuff out, and our German parishioners and our parishioners from India, and all of our Filipino parishioners. And I'm going to stop there because I'm going to run into trouble, because we've got parishioners from so many countries, from Mexico and Brazil and lots of places. So please come with your traditional dress. And also, we're going to invite you to bring some food. So, because, as good as haggis and neeps and tatties is, or are, we don't want to dominate. I mean, it's certainly the highlight of the gathering, but we invite you to bring other food. So, now, here's the thing. We can't heat it, so it's got to be a cold dish. And please, if you can, please avoid peanuts, because some people have an allergy. So, that's what we're doing. Excuse me, on New Year's Day. Bring the food up to the parish center before Mass and drop it off. Now, there's one other reason why we're doing this. Okay, so the why is always important. We're going to celebrate who we are. We've got so many new parishioners. We're a diverse community. We want to own who we are. We want to celebrate the community that God is forming here in Dartmouth, and we do that through the sharing of food and the traditional costume. Okay. But we also want to grow in hospitality as a parish. So this is a way to welcome one another, but also to welcome those on the outside. So I invite parishioners to invite non-parishioners, to invite people in the community, invite your neighbor. Come on down to our church and try some haggis. So all are welcome. We want to invite and welcome everyone. By the way, I forgot to tell you, it's going to be over in the school this year, not in the parish center. I said the parish center. So it will be in the school, which is the building right next, well, not right next, but close to the parish. Okay, I think I've confused you enough. So it must be the after effects of Christmas. So Merry Christmas again, and I hope to be wishing you a Happy New Year on New Year's Day at our parish levee. God bless.